This is how you're gonna put an ultimate end to wavering. And I know I probably made a couple videos on this, but here's my updated perspective on putting an end to wavering or persisting in negative thoughts and how to do it. The first and the most obvious thing is you could tell you, I know everybody who's like, everything's an affirmation. You can obviously just tell yourself, oh, I never waver. What I'm gonna do is get into things that you can do, like practical steps to help you, I would say assist you in those affirmations that'll actually make you feel like you have control over your mind. Feel me? So number one, which is the most obvious, like I said, you're gonna affirm, I never waver. My negative thoughts don't manifest. However you want to say that, I don't waver. I'm so happy I don't waver. However you want to say that. What I started doing and what I've been doing lately is meditating. I kid you not. Meditating is a form of nervous system regulation, which y'all know I talk about a lot. I do both meditating and breath work. Those are my two favorites. But as of lately, I've been focused more on meditating. And the reason I'm going to talk about meditation and how it's going to help you put an end to wavering or pretty much always paying attention to your negative thoughts is the way I'm going to speak about meditation is something that I spoke about in the video where I was talking about the crazy story, how I got my ex back. This is something I did instinctively, intuitively, but years later, I'm learning that there's a method to the madness. So to explain that, in that video, I talked about how for 20 to 30 minutes, I went into complete darkness, complete silence somewhere in my house, 20, 30 minutes. I wasn't focusing on anything. I wasn't repeating anything. I was literally just sitting in the dark, watching my thoughts, observing them, not interacting with them, not engaging with them, just observing them. Not saying, oh, this is true about me. And the thing is, I know some people are like, well, how do I observe? You literally just watch them. The same way you can watch TV, the same way you can sit here and watch me, you're just observing. You're not going, the best way I could put this too, I know everybody gives, when they talk about meditation, they say it's like watching clouds. When I say observe a thought and don't engage with it, it's like, I think I've given this example before, but it's basically where, let's say you're sitting on your front porch. And as you're sitting on your front porch, you got all these cars that pull up in your driveway. You can choose whether or not you get in that car or not. They can pull up, leave. Each car can pull up and leave, but only you can choose whether you get in that car or not. So it's the same thing with your thoughts. You have all these thoughts come to the forefront of your attention, and you can choose whether or not you're gonna, metaphorically, get in the car. You're gonna choose whether or not you're gonna give that your attention. And that's really all wavering is. Wavering is not one bad thought, a few bad thoughts. I'm noticing these unfavorable thoughts, and that means I'm wavering. It's when you continually give those thoughts attention, then you start dwelling on them. You're adding fuel to the fire. It's like, okay, what if this doesn't happen for me? Then you start paying attention to it. You're saying, well, if this doesn't happen, then that means this, and this means that, and you're assigning meanings, which y'all know. As the creator of your reality, co-creator of your reality, whatever you want to call it, the operant power of your reality, when you start assigning meanings, that is you operating in your God state, you feel me? So when you start learning, hey, I don't have to do that and assign these different meanings to what's happening via meditation, you're gonna start seeing, you really got a monkey mind. I don't mean to say that to be, y'all know how I am. I like to joke, I call people monkeys all the time. But real shit, you got like a monkey mind. Like your mind will send you 1,000 different bullshit ass messages. And if you pay attention to them, you'll think they're so real. But with this meditation, the more you do it, you start learning that you are just pure awareness. You're the observer behind the thoughts, which I know to some of y'all, if you've been in this long enough, that sounds very cliche, but I'm telling you, it's not until you practice it that you will truly understand it. I know a lot of things in the spiritual community just sound good. This is one of those things that is not just, it doesn't just sound good, it'll make you actually feel good when you can go throughout the day and not be bothered by unfavorable thoughts. You get what I'm saying? So here's another thing. Everybody talks about detachment, right? They're like, oh, you need to detach. I still say to this day, you don't gotta detach, at least not in the way that people are teaching it. You don't have to detach from what you want. What you do is you detach from what you don't want. You stop giving it attention. You become indifferent to it. Nonchalant, as people would say, a nonchalant dreadhead, but whatever. Y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. When you become indifferent to these negative thoughts, these opposing, unfavorable thoughts, when you become indifferent to them and you stop being moved by them emotionally, you stop being the person who engages with these thoughts. It's like that picture of the, I think it's like a monkey and a lion, and like the monkey's rage baiting. The lion's just sitting there like smirking and shit. That's really how you gotta be in the face of some of these thoughts, because it's really not that serious. It's like, even in a time where like you might need something to happen, like let's say you manifesting someone on a time crunch, you might need something to happen, or there's certain things that you need to take place. I'm telling y'all, start meditating if you can. Also add breath work. But I'm telling y'all, start meditating. 20 to 30 minutes of straight silence. You're just observing your thoughts. You're going to start being able to not be moved by thoughts, because you realize they're not yours. You are just the awareness. You can fuel and give thoughts energy and bring them to life with your awareness, but you are not your thoughts. You are the observer. If you ask yourself, who is the one listening to these thoughts? Who is the one observing these thoughts? You would say, I am. I am is awareness. We know this. So at the end of the day, we are all pure awareness. Your awareness is the energy or the fuel that ignites the fire. Y'all get what I'm saying? So this is why I'm getting on here advocating. Start meditating 20, 30 minutes a day, straight silence. Now, not no meditating with the meditation music, not meditation and you're focusing on, what do they say? Look at a candle or some bullshit. Not all that. I'm just saying, literally sit your ass down in silence and observe your thoughts. It's literally the art of doing nothing. I've said this a million times, so like you're gonna start noticing what that does for you. Feel me? What it's gonna do for you is make you indifferent to negative thoughts, indifferent to adverse conditions, appearances. Because what that also means is, when I say adverse appearances and conditions, it's like things could be right in your face, but you respond different. And that's another thing that meditation is gonna help you do. It's gonna help you start choosing to respond instead of react, and those are two different things. When you respond, as you doing, reaction is like usually emotional. You're reacting based on something you've seen before. Like, this is what normally happens, so now you react. So like, let's say if you're used to, I don't know, let's say your partner doesn't text you for a couple hours. And in your past relationships, when your partner doesn't text you for a couple hours, that means they're out cheating. So now you start reacting. You're texting them, blowing up their phone, asking them where they're at, who's that bitch you with, who's that nigga you with, why aren't you texting me? That's you reacting. Responding could say, if you've been meditating, or even if you just listen to this video and you're like, okay, let me think about this different. Responding would be like, okay, they haven't texted me for a few hours, they could just be busy. You start assigning different meanings. You're not assuming based on an old story, because reacting, the word itself, tells you what you're doing. You're reenacting something that you've already seen. You're reacting, feel me? Versus responding. Responding would again be like, oh, maybe they're busy. Maybe they got caught up with something. Are they safe? Because these are what I think. I don't think, oh, shorty cheating. I'm just like, she's probably busy. Let me make sure she's safe. Let me make sure, you feel me? Like nothing bad actually happened to her, because one time some bad damn near did happen. So car broke down in the middle of the highway. So it wasn't, oh, I'm not texting you because da-da-da-da-da. Cheating, it was literally car broke down. So it's things like that, learning to respond. But that's the whole point of this video, learning to be indifferent to adverse thoughts, appearances, and conditions. That's what meditation is gonna help you do. It's not gonna be like this, it's not always gonna, from my experience, it's not always gonna be like what I told y'all in the one video where like I get answers and downloads, which will be the last part of this video. It's not always going to be that. One of the main benefits, which is what I'm talking about, is just being able to respond different, becoming indifferent to negative thoughts. That's one of my favorite benefits. Like, you're going to face some things in life, but it changes the way you respond to things. Start responding instead of reacting. And the last part, why I'm going to talk about this is beneficial as far as wavering and all that other shit goes. You start getting answers and downloads from yourself, basically. You call it higher self, you call it God. I still refer to it as God. I get answers and downloads to questions, things that I want to know, things that I didn't know but needed to know. Because I told y'all even in the video, what happened? I sat down and meditated because I was like, what the fuck going on? I didn't even know that was meditation technically, but I was just like, you know what, whatever. Like, I'm gonna just do this because I don't know what the fuck's going on. And what ends up happening, he's like, yeah, bro, she in jail. Kid you not, 20 minutes later, I get a call, I'm in jail. I was like, okay, cool. But that was when I knew it was crazy that there's a presence speaking within me that's telling me and always has the answer. It's just, we have to learn to unplug from this reality to hear those answers. And that's the last thing I'm gonna speak on, is learning to unplug from this reality is what that meditation does for you. When you learn to consistently unplug from this 3D reality, which is just a reality that you've already created. Not saying you can't change something in your 3D by today or in the next couple minutes, but I'm saying what you're experiencing right now has already been created. So if you learn to unplug from that, go into the void, as they say, which is really whatever you want to call it, right? You learn to unplug from that. You can start hearing your own inner voice, or your higher self, again, God. You can start hearing that voice giving you the answers, telling you which way to go, giving you the intuitive leads that you need to change your life or take action on whatever it is you need to do. You feel me? Sometimes it's an idea. Sometimes it's words of wisdom. Sometimes it's some information that nobody else could have gave you. You feel me? Like, nobody else could have told me Shorty was in jail before she ended up being in jail, or before she told me. You feel me? It's things like that. So yes, the whole point of this video, I was talking about wavering, how to end it, how to put it into wavering, but it's also talking about the benefits of doing this type of meditation. There's way too many benefits, and there's probably more benefits than I can explain, but I'm telling y'all, just start testing it out. Get consistent with it. I know I really don't want no bitching in the comments. I don't have 30 minutes a day to do it. Then shut the fuck up and get off this video. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not trying to hear that shit no more. If you can't find 30 minutes to do it, that's on you, my nigga. Like, real shit. So anyways, my voice just cracked. Anyways, peace out, my niggas.